good evening and welcome to everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. So as you all probably well aware, and I hope you are, we are going to be talking about holding physical gold SIPP pensions, and we'll have some information on storage as well. Next slide, please. So a little bit about us to start off with. For many of you, you'll probably be aware, but there may be one or two of you that are fairly new to Bleyer. So Bleyer was established in May 2009, and you can find us at bleyerbullion.co.uk, and we're online 24/7. So we're here to support and help you make the best decisions possible when it comes to buying and selling bullion. And ultimately, we exist to demystify and make bullion investment more accessible to everyone. Our FIFO reviews are something we're very proud of. It's a reflection of our service and what we provide to you guys out there. And it helps massively when new customers are coming forward to be able to see a true reflection of what we do. And so we haven't fallen below 4.9 out of 5 at the moment. And as you can see, we achieved the Platinum Trusted Service Award in 2025. So we're very proud of that, and we do work hard to keep everything running and ticking as smoothly as we can. So a little bit of housekeeping. So just the disclaimer before we start. So please note, precious metal prices may go down as well as up. Bleyer Limited, or Bleyer Bullion, accepts no responsibility for any losses based on information we have provided. We do not offer investment advice, but share our experience and knowledge for the purpose of raising awareness. It's up to you to do your own research and, if necessary, obtain professional advice before making an investment decision. So a quick run through of what we're looking to achieve tonight. So we're looking to get an overall even understanding of pensions, SIPPs, and the rules of governing them. We'll cover a brief outline of taxes that apply to pensions. We'll discuss pension trustees, their role, and an overview of their relationship with you and us. And we'll run through a very quick overview of storage and operating costs, and the steps required to set up and run a gold pension, and we'll finish with a question and answer session. So feel free, if you've got any quick questions as we're going along, if there's something that you just want to check in on as we're going along, use the chat box. That's what it's there for. The guys will help answer any quick questions. But if there's anything a little bit more in depth, please save it until the end, and then we'll go through some Q&A at the end. So now I'll hand you over to Caroline, who will run you through the basics of holding gold in your pension.
That's better. Thank you, Melissa. Today we're going to cover the basics of pensions and give you an overview of what Bleyer does and what we don't do, and also talk about storage, which applies not only to pensions, but you don't have to have a pension to use our storage facility. So we're just going to do an overview of that as well. So if there's anything in any of this that you want to go into in detail, as I mentioned a bit earlier before we started recording, then give us a call and we can deal with your particular situation, your case, because it will be personal to you. So a SIPP, a lot of you will already know some of this stuff, so I apologise if I'm telling you things that you already know, but not everyone is aware of all the terms. So a SIPP is a self-invested personal pension. It's a way of saving and investing for your retirement. And in the world of pensions, there are different types of pensions that you can have. The government pensions are most likely to be it's a sort of at one end of the scale where you're not actually investing your own money. Someone else is doing it entirely for you. You're just putting the money in. And then there are different degrees of pension between that and a SIPP. So you might have, it's a discretionary pension is one that happens, the pension trustees do all the investing for you. Then you have the advisory type, where you might have someone who works with you and suggests what you might want to put in your pension. And then there's execution only, which is completely self-directed. So it's up to you, and this is what SIPPs usually are, it's up to you to tell your trustee what you want your money invested in. And this is where physical gold SIPPs sit. So a pension is a tax efficient investment wrapper used to build a pension pot. So you're putting taxed money into your pension. It works in a similar way to a company pension, except it's organised by the individual, not an employer. A SIPP can be inherited by your beneficiaries. Your money should be protected if a SIPP provider goes bust by the rules that have been set out to govern this area of law by the Financial Services Commission deals with this sort of thing. Popular investment options for SIPPs are physical gold, commercial property, shares, funds, and bonds. You can put pretty much anything in a SIPP, but the difference between them is that you choose what goes into it more. So you can invest up to 100% of your salary, so it's your income. You can't put in more than your income, and the first £60,000 a year is generally tax-free. I think there are more rules around this for people who are putting in larger amounts. I'm not aware of them all, but your pension trustee will be able to talk to you about this side of things. So you can gain access to your money in a SIPP from 55, and usually you can remove 25% of that tax-free as a lump sum if you wish, with a maximum of 275,000. You can use salary sacrifice if you ask your employer, or it's your own company, the money can go in before it's paid to you as salary, and that way there's no national insurance on those contributions either, making it a bit more tax efficient. And then income drawn down from pensions is subject to income tax, so it gets treated just like all your other income when you get into drawdown, which is when the money goes back into your pocket. So the benefits of pension are physical. It's a physical asset, and people like the idea that they have something that is physical, exists, and they know where it is. There are tax benefits, and that mean that you get more gold for your money. So you get the money that you put in plus the tax, either the tax that you would have paid on that money, or the tax that you've already paid gets paid back to you. It's recession proof. Gold tends to follow the inflation and do better than inflation. So hence the next bubble that we got there. It's good in a mixed portfolio because it behaves in a different way to the stock market and to property. And it can also be quite useful to, if you've got property and you want to reinvest some of your income from the property, you can buy gold on an incremental basis. You don't need to only invest in a lump sum when you're putting money in a pension. You can do it over a period of time. So it's fully allocated to your pension trustee, and it's held in high security vault that is guarded and fully insured. You'd be dealing with us as well as your pension trustee. I don't know that every company dealing with this sort of thing works in the way that we do, but we're quite happy to have conversations with you that run alongside the work that you do with your pension trustee, and will help you in terms of telling you what you need to do to make things move more quickly sometimes. Pension trustees can be quite slow. We've got a couple of, well, we basically work with any pension trustees, and you know, different pensions suit different people. So how does it all work? So your job is to instruct parties. So you'd select your pension trustee that you want to work with, and we can help you in terms of speaking to you about who might be able to help you with setting this up. And you have to fund the pension account. So again, we can talk to you about how this all works. The trustee sets up the wrapper, so they open an account with us. They collect funds from you and procure investments. So they have to give us the instruction, but you instruct them as to what you want them to tell us. We provide you with the guidance, and once we know what your wishes are, we'll buy bars when we receive the instruction from the trustee, and of course the funds. And then when we've got the bars for you, we send them to storage and manage the storage account. So once your gold is in your account on an ongoing basis, it's up to you to manage the bill payments, and you may choose to increase your investment and add to your portfolio. And the trustee receives the funds, reclaims taxes on your behalf, manages tax on any drawdowns, raises and pays bills. Our job is to maintain the storage account. We provide valuations to you or your pension trustee or both. We communicate with you and them as needed, and we provide support. So if you do go down this road, it's always good to let us know what your plans are in advance, rather than us just waiting to hear from your trustee, because that way we know that you know what they're instructing us to do. So I'm going to hand over to Melissa at this point, if she's happy to take over, or you want me to go on for a bit longer through this part.
I'm more than happy to carry on. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you very much. So it's always good to consider any costs associated with anything that you're looking for in the future. So we thought we'd give you a quick rundown of what you could look at when you're setting up a pension like this. So you'll have your setup fee from your SIPP provider. You'll have your annual SIPP fees. You'll have your storage costs. There'll be a vaulting fee, and then ultimately towards the end or partway through your journey, there will be removal costs. So to make it a little bit more simple, we put together a little case study based on a £40,000 investment, just to help sort of see where those costs come in and what you could expect. So on a £40,000 investment, on the basic rate of tax paid, you would receive a tax rebate of £10,000. So it would give you a total of £50,000 available to put towards your pension. Your setup fee from the provider that we're using and we recommend is should be £95, but they're doing an offer for £49 that's available until the end of November this year. Their annual SIPP fee is £250, and the storage insertion fee is £50. So your total setup there would be £349, and the annual storage cost based on that 50,000 investment would be £300 for the year. Now, all those prices are ex-VAT, so you do need to add your 20% VAT on that as well. And the prices work on a sliding scale as well. So the more you invest and the more you store, but we can go through individual plans and numbers with you. So we hoped that that would just give you a bit of an idea of what you're looking at potentially. So we thought it'd be good because I know that everybody, not everybody even, has come on to talk about pensions. Yeah, the heading was pensions and storage. So there are some of you that aren't looking at pensions but may be interested in storing. So whether or not you have a pension or a gold pension that you're looking at, or if you're looking at just generally storing some of your precious metals, it's all dealt with in exactly the same way. So we use a third-party storage facility. It's an LBMA approved facility, and they've got 160-year history, and their security is top of the range. They're experts in what they do, and which is why we use them, because they know what they're doing. It's all fully allocated. Every piece of metal is allocated to each individual customer. You can purchase VAT-free for storage, so that's on silver. And there is no public access. We get asked quite a lot whether or not people can go down and visit their precious metals. There is no public access at all. It's one of the reasons why it's so high secure, because they limit the amount of people that can actually get close to the building. So you can't go and visit it. So purchasing VAT-free for storage is only available on new purchases. So if you've got anything you've got already and you want to put it into storage and try and work around the tax system, it's not going to work. It's on new purchases only. And there is no VAT charge on the metal at the point of purchase, but VAT does apply to storage fees. So that does confuse customers sometimes when they say, I didn't think there was any VAT, but the storage fees are something completely separate and it is vatable. You have the option to take possession at any time. So you can take physical possession of anything that you've got in storage, or we are able to sell your metal from the storage for you without taking possession. So if you do decide to take possession of anything that you have stored VAT-free, then there will be VAT charged on the metal once you take possession of it. And we can store VAT-free silver, platinum, and palladium.
And there's no VAT on gold. I'll just add at this point.
Just to add, yes, just in case you're not aware, there's no VAT on gold anyway, but there would be obviously on your storage fees. So storage pricing is on a sliding scale rate. So the more you store, the cheaper the rate becomes. And if anyone's interested, please reach out to the office, drop us an email. We can go through any of the information and the rates with you, but not to bog everyone down and sort of go through it all tonight. The sliding scale rate can go down as low as 0.5% plus VAT. And the entry level, so the minimum level to start storing with us, is £5,000. Well, you could do below that, but you have to look at the efficiency on that. But £5,000, you're looking at £10 plus VAT per month per metal. So if you're storing gold and silver, you're looking at £20 per month. Your vaulting fee is £50 plus VAT plus per metal per movement in and out of your storage account. So this is a fee from the vault themselves. It's a physical job that they have to do. They physically take your physical metal and go and put it into a vault and make sure it's all safe for you. So because of that, there is a cost that incurs. So each time that you want to move anything in or out, then they will charge the £50 plus VAT. We do work with our customers and help out where we can to help reduce any of these costs, but obviously we have to make it sensible for everybody. So we do help where we possibly can. When you're inserting or removing, depending on how much you are inserting or removing, there may be delivery charges, but again, we limit those where we possibly can. But there are occasions that people want things done very, very quickly, which is fine. We can do it very quickly, but it may mean that it will incur a delivery charge just to move that metal to where it needs to be. So next steps. So is a gold SIPP pension the pension for you? It may well be. It may have perked up some intrigue and some thought. So it's been a very brief overview tonight. We can't go too in depth into everything, and obviously everyone, you're not going to want to share your personal information and go through scenarios on a webinar with us. So contact us for a one-to-one, and we can discuss recommendations, options, and give you the next stage advice to help you through the process. It's not going to be a quick process. For you, it's not a quick decision, but we're here to help in any way we can. So contact the office during office hours, give us a call, drop us an email, whichever way you feel comfortable with, and then one of the team will come back to you to be able to help out. The next stage, once you have decided that the Gold SIPP is the pension for you, is to select a trustee and open a suitable account. And we can help out with recommendations there as well. But as Caroline said previously, we're happy to work with anyone that's happy to hold gold as part of the pension. Step 3 is the painful bit, is funding your account. It's parting with your fiat money and funding the account with the SIPP provider. You will then instruct the trustees regarding your intended purchase, who then in turn will instruct us, which is where it's quite nice because we have a nice relationship with the SIPP provider we use at the moment, and it's very much a team effort. And a lot of the customers we've got really close relationships with as well. So it is very much a triangular relationship, and it doesn't necessarily always mean that the trustees will instruct us. We're normally aware, because we've had conversations with you as a customer, as to what you would look at for your intended purchase anyway. So the trustees would instruct us, because the instruction has to come from them, not you, regarding the bars you wish to hold. And for any of you that aren't aware, you can only hold bars in your pension, you can't hold coins. And then the final step is that the trustees and us, Bleyer, will act upon your instructions, and we will manage your pension. Whether you're storing with us or you're looking at a pension, it's going to be part of the compliance process that we will be asking for ID. Some people sort of push back on it because they don't like sharing their personal information, which is absolutely fine. But it's just to be clear that it's not something that we like to ask for. We don't like asking for personal information, and it can be quite intrusive for some people. But our independent reviews, so when we talked about FIFO earlier, this provides our customers with insights into us as a business. People get to learn about Bleyer and who we are and get a feel for us and see how trustworthy we are and things like that. But we don't get this when we're dealing with customers. We don't know you at all until we start building that relationship. That aside, as a reputable business, we do have to demonstrate a good know your customer policy. So for our bank, as it gives them the confidence that we're doing all we can to prevent fraud, because unfortunately it does happen out there. So any customers making substantial orders, so that would definitely be covered by anyone that's looking at storage or pensions. They would be asked to provide ID just so we can verify your account. If you're uncomfortable with it, we do work around it by doing video calls or anything, or customers come to see us face to face. You don't have to provide it electronically. There's lots of things that we can do to help you out, so do let us know. We don't pass any of your details onto a third party. And unless you move house, change your name, or something comes up that's a little bit awry that we think this doesn't quite feel like it's so-and-so's account, then we wouldn't ask you to provide ID again.
I would just like to add to what Melissa said, that is that we do need to have a copy of your signature and your ID, so that when you come to instruct us to take your bullion out of storage, we know exactly who we're dealing with. So we would, in those circumstances, need to have copies of, at least a piece of photo ID with the signature on it. So the ID that we ask is nothing more than what is normally required to open a bank account or something like that. So just in case anyone was wondering.
So
So
now we get to open the floor for question and answers. So it's time to not hear us for a little minute or two.
yeah, Kevin's asking, do you share our information with any governmental agencies? So do the government know who you are if I hold gold? I think that is what you probably mean to say. So we don't send anything out to any third parties. The only people who know are the storage company. They have a record who of who's holding gold with us. So that if anything happened to us, you've got somewhere else you could go to. So that we do that as a precaution. But all it is your name, your name, your details. So you'd have to identify yourself and probably provide proof of purchase, and that way they would know that you were the right person. Feel free to call us and we can discuss this in more detail. Thank you, Pat. I'm glad you found it useful. What else?
So Neil has a question. He says, when accessing the pension, does the metal have to be liquidated into cash or can you take the physical metal? If so, will 25% of the metal be tax-free?
I've done this before for a client and the pension trustee was happy for me to do that. I've discussed that with the latest pension trustee that we've taken on. He said they don't normally do this, but then I guess there's perhaps not that many people, not that do, not as many people as, gold isn't as common as other things. And perhaps other bullion dealers aren't that flexible. So, he said, we can look at it. So I would think that's perfectly reasonable thing to do, would be to actually withdraw your physical 25% of your gold bars that you have. And that would then be valued at a rate, I guess, of what we would pay if you sold it. And that should form the amount. So
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank-
Andrew's asking, who's the trustee company that we have a relationship with? Andrew, if you want to give the office a shout, we can discuss that with you and we can have a chat and go through our recommendations.
someone was trying to ask a question. I think. Come back if
It's
you
right. I think it might be Simon. There's a couple coming in the chat. So Pat's got a question here. So only bars in the SIP. Yes, both silver and gold, please. Why no coins, just out of interest? So it is only gold, Pat, not silver. And Caroline will be able to give you the definitive answer on why coins are not bars.
why bars.
The other way around. The other way around. Sorry.
There's just the rules. They just say that you have to have, I don't know why. So it's the only metal is gold bars. So there are only certain things that you can put in a SIP. Like you can't have residential property. You can't have silver. Why? I don't know. Why there's VAT on silver and not gold? I don't know. So there you are. That's just how it is. Simon, so vault charges are the same. Yeah, for the pension, the charges are the same. Because your money goes into your pension pot. If you add to your pension pot new money that is eligible for tax rebates, then you can use that money to pay your fees, because the money has to ultimately come from your pension pot to pay the fees. I don't believe you can pay the fees separately. I think it has to travel through the pension trustee. The trustees don't actually charge anything for transactions that happen during the course of the year. You only have to pay with the particular trustee that we've just started working with. It's a flat rate. I hope that answers that question. Kevin is asking about gold ownership, that the confiscation in the 30s. I think what happened was gold was linked to the money supply. They've fixed that now by bringing in fiat currency. So different, you know, I don't know. We don't know what could possibly happen in the future. There are many things that could happen in the future. So if the government announced something, then we would have a response depending on what that was at the time. So without a crystal ball, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you. Bars are subject to capital gains tax, Simon says. So if sold, would be charged as normal, not in a pension. So inside the pension pot, they would be treated that, you're not charged any capital gains. You can make capital gains inside your pension tax-free. It's only when you draw down that the tax becomes taxable. If you took bars out of your pension as part of your tax-free lump sum or income, then the value would be crystallized at the time of extraction. And then he's also asked about inheritance tax. It would be whatever inheritance tax applies to pensions. So some of these questions are probably best double checked with the pension trustee, but as far as I can tell, that's right. So Trudy is asking, can I transfer what I have in a stocks and shares SIPP into a gold SIPP? Yes, you can. Again, the pension trustee can help you with this, and if you want to give us a call, Trudy, I can talk to you a bit more about this in detail. The pension trustee can arrange to pull different pensions into one pot if that's what you want. It's not just one, they can do many, and sometimes it makes sense to amalgamate them. There are two types of SIPP that you can have. One that is specific to just gold, so it's which has a slightly lower, the £250 annual rate, and then for, I think it's about £500, you can have a SIPP pension that has different types of asset in. So you can have your gold, you can have stocks and shares, you can have residential property, but the fees for that's a bit higher. Okay, do we have any more questions, either verbal or in the chat? It's nice to hear your voices. So happy to take some more questions.
Caroline, there is a question that's come in. Can you store other items in the same SIPP?
You can store stocks and shares and commercial property. You can't have residential property in the SIPP. So commercial property, yeah, and possibly other things too. But again, you'd have to ask the pension trustee. Yes, Mia, you can transfer from an existing SIPP. Thank you, Pat. Lovely to hear that you were happy with your first bullion purchase. Thank you, Simon.
Did you enjoy the chocolate, Pat, or did you just miss out? While we wait for that answer, we have another question from Nadine. Can you store personal gold or silver alongside SIPP, or do you need a different vault account?
You have to have a separate vault account because this account is with your the trustee. So it's not the same as being yours. I mean, it is yours, but it's at arm's length. So I hope that this helps. I can explain it in more detail if you want to come ring us up and we'll have a chat.
There's another question in from Neil. Is insurance included in the vaulting fee or is it extra?
It's all included.
Pat, you were unlucky. You just missed our birthday month. You needed to have placed an order in May, so you've got time. Get one in, and we'll send you some chocolate. Yeah, seeds was a good one a couple of years ago. So yeah, it was really good. We're trying to change it up where we can for our birthday. But yeah, so you're old school, aren't you, Simon? Old school. So yeah, thank you for your continued support.
We've got a wheel though that's been added for a bit of fun.
Yes, yes. What is the smallest bar size that can be purchased to put in your SIPP?
Any size really, but we can talk to you about what's cost effective. Really teeny bars are not really worth buying for for investment. So 1 gram bars make nice gifts, but the markup on them is so high that it's they're it's not advised for something like this, but 10 grams, 20 grams, ounces, probably the smallest that it's worth doing. You've also got to bear in mind the overhead of £50 insertion fee. But when you're setting you know, you're putting your basket together of what you want to hold in your SIP, we'll talk you through what's sensible, depending on, how you plan to withdraw it.
Fabulous. We've got another question in from Trudy. In the event of death, would the HMRC be informed, thinking that in the form of coins, they aren't traceable as such?
When it comes to if somebody dies, we deal with the executors of their will. So we don't get involved we don't do any reporting to HMRC. We don't have a relationship with them like that. All we do is our tax returns like any other business. It doesn't include any client information whatsoever.
Thank you, Caroline. There's a question in from Kevin. In your opinion, do you think a gold or silver reset is coming?
I don't know. It's even if I did have an opinion, I don't think it would be worth sharing because it's all guesswork. It's definitely on the cards, but when it will happen, I mean, I've known about Mike Maloney for 15 years,
Yeah.
and he's been saying the same thing. So it depends how long you can wait. So, what I tend to look at is what the charts are actually doing.
Mm,
And that's what I would expect the metals to do in the future, is to
yeah.
follow their patterns. That said, we do see some rather unusual behaviour, like rhodium. If you look at what happened with rhodium, but rhodium's quite a risky investment because it's a very small market, and the spread between the buy and the sell price is enormous. So buying into rhodium is big risk, but people have taken that risk and made lots of money, and they've also taken risk that expecting it to keep going up, and it's tanked. So that's what you're dealing with any investment, really.
Storm was asking a question. I did type, but you might not have seen it, Storm. The minimum size for bars for storage, I'm guessing you're talking about general storage. There is no minimum. We can store anything you like, really. We can put a 1 ounce coin in there, but you have to question whether or not it's going to be economical for you. So the best thing to do is give us a shout, have a look at what you're looking at storing. We can go through the numbers with you, and then you can make an informed decision then based on what you'd be looking at to see whether or not it'd be economical for you. So I think that's the best way to look at that one. But we can store anything that you like. There's no minimum to pop in there. So I hope that answers that one for you. Caroline, you've got another slide, I think, with the offer.
Oh, yes. We have an offer for you.
Yes, for your patience and for joining us tonight. And just as a thank you, so there was a thank you for joining us tonight, and our contact details are on there. But for anyone that has joined us tonight or is watching this presentation, then we'd like to reward you with a free vaulting insertion fee. So that's worth £50 plus VAT, and that's on any new pension gold that's inserted into our vault by the end of November 2025. So we're going to match the terms of the offer of our SIPP provider, because it keeps the dates nice and simple for everybody. So you get, not only do you get the reduced fee by the SIPP provider, but we would also waive your first insertion fee on any new pension gold being inserted before end of November. But to qualify on this, because there's probably going to be so many people take up this offer when it goes out, we can't keep track of everybody that has watched or is looking at this presentation. So you must tell us when you come through to place your order or look at your pension that you've seen this webinar and that you'd like to take advantage of this offer. It is restricted to one free vaulting fee per customer. So unfortunately, we can't do it unlimited, but hopefully that's enough of a little thank you for your time for tonight. And we really appreciate you being here. If you don't want to ask any questions, because I know some of this can be quite personal as well, then obviously just reach out to the office. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 till 5:30. Apart from bank holidays, we're having Monday off. Caroline's letting us have Monday off, which is like really good. So it's good. Yeah, yay, Storm, yay. It's a long weekend and I hope we all get to enjoy it. But yeah, we'll be back in from 9 o'clock tomorrow. Pick up the phone, give us a call. Most of you know we don't bite. We're quite friendly. Or ping us an email at overnight tonight while it's fresh in your mind and you just want to ask that question. Just send it over to sales@bleyer.co.uk.
Yeah, so thank you for listening, and if we'll be sending out a recording or link to our recording once it's up. And if you're watching this back on YouTube, then please give us a thumbs up and feel free to share.